We are just talking about 8 days of fighting. Right now, HTC, they control Aleppo. It's the economic capital of Syria. They controlled Hama. It's the fourth largest province in Syria, and they are now very close to Homs.
Rebel forces are just 1 kilometre away from the Syrian city of Homs. In the course of a week, they've taken the cities of Aleppo and Hama, which were considered strongholds of President Assad's regime. Let's hear now from Hoshang Hasan, who is journalist for the Syrian news outlet North Press Agency, and he joins us from Syria now. Good afternoon, Hoshang.
Good afternoon, Kathy. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the programme. It must be, feel like a pretty perilous time for your country. I just wondered if you could tell us what the very latest is.
Yeah. Yesterday, HTC or Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, they announced the full control of Hama city or Hama province in Syria. After that, they start walks towards Homs. Right now, there is some clashes in Homs neighborhood, or exactly at the northern neighborhood at Homs, but it looks like HTC is moving, or they are going to take Homs slowly, because it looks like they had lost a lot of fighters, so they don't want to do that or have that in Homs again. But at the other side, in other province like Sueda, like Daraa in southern Syria, right now we can say they are also out of control of the Syrian regime, of the Assad regime forces. So it looks like the situation is too hard for Damascus or for the Syrian regime.
So, I mean, it has been a sort of really rapid advance by the HTS. Why do you think they've been able to move so quickly, and how are people viewing this in Syria?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point, because we are just talking about 8 days of fighting. Right now, HTC, they control Aleppo. It's the economic capital of Syria. They controlled Hama. It's the fourth largest province in Syria, and they are now very close to Homs. Here, what we are understanding and what looks like, because of the lake support of Iranian and Russia for the Syrian regime, Damascus lose all of that. So because right now Iran militia didn't support Assad in this battle, Russian jets didn't support Assad in this battle. So Assad and soldiers who have been fought for 14 years, they can't resistance or defend the areas that under the Assad control.
I mean, you mentioned Russia there, obviously a key ally of the Syrian government. Russia is now urging its citizens to leave Syria. Do you fear that there may be some fresh fight back in preparation, that the war might be about to intensify?
Yeah, Russia did that actually. And since the first day, Russia haven't give any support. I am I'm talking about the air support, like jets or bombing or any kind of that. They didn't did that. So it's look like, and some analysts, and I believe that Russia had an agreement to left Assad with something in Ukraine. Some people are talking about that. So it's look like Russia will just stay in Latakia city and Hmeimim base. But even if they are still there, but they haven't give any support to Assad. Just to know, Hmeimim base is the main base of the Russian forces in Syria. And normally this base was all jets was starting from there, and they was bombing rebel fighters in whole Syria.
Well, what is the general mood in Syria from local people?
Yeah, most people who hate Assad and hate the regime, they are so happy, so glad. They're especially the refugees, because they are thinking those steps, they will let them come back again to them houses. But the other side, people in the capital, Syrian capital, Damascus, who is in Homs or other cities, they are afraid of what will happen. I talked with many residents of Damascus. They are afraid. They say the regime didn't tell us anything. They didn't say why Aleppo fall, why Hama, and why right now Homs. We talked about Daraa, Sueda. So people of like who stay in regime side, they are so afraid, they are scared of what will happen. But at the other side, in our side where I am staying here in Syrian Democratic Forces area with the global coalition, actually there is like there was like a wave of immigration. There was more than 100,000 Kurdish who displaced from northern Aleppo after an operation or an attack from Syrian National Army that's supported by Turkey, and they are coming to other side of Arafat's river. But unfortunately, there is around 1,050 Kurdish persons. They are like with their families. They didn't know anything about them after this moving.
Hoshang Hasan, thank you very much for joining us, journalist for the Syrian news outlet North Press Agency.
الله اكبر. قد ايه بدنا نشكرك يا رب. الحمد لله. قد ايه بدنا نشكرك يا رب. قد ايه بدنا نقول الحمد لله. الحمد لله. انت بهم علينا على خير يا رب. الحمد لله. يا حمص يا رب. كل حرب حمص يا رب. الله اكبر. يا رب على حمص يا الله. يا الله تفرج علينا وعلى جميع الله اكبر. الله اكبر. الله اكبر. الله اكبر.
وبدنا نحرر حمصنا وبدنا نحرر حمصنا. جنة 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 يا حمص جينا حنا. جنة 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 يا حمص جينا حنا. يا حمص الحبيبة أصبحت القريبة. بدنا نحرر